Welcome to TreeWalker's Ungovernable, the podcast for those who cherish freedom, self-reliance, and a life untethered from systematic constraints. Welcome to our first episode of TreeWalker's Ungovernable. Today we're delving into a pivotal story in the world of sustainable farming and self-reliance. Homestead Under Siege, the Amos Miller story, and its implications. Our journey begins with Amos Miller, an Amish farmer from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Miller's organic farm stands as a beacon of traditional organic farming methods, specializing in raw milk and grass-fed meats. However, Miller's adherence to age-old practices has placed him in the crosshairs of modern food safety regulations. Rooted in Amish traditions, Miller's approach to farming emphasizes a close connection to the land and natural processes. Despite its popularity among those seeking natural food sources, Miller's farm has faced significant legal challenges, particularly from the USDA and the FDA, over compliance with food safety regulations. And you know how I feel about those alphabet groups. They're needed in some points, but back off. But Miller's legal battles revolve around issues dating back several years, including claims related to foodborne pathogens in his products. Central to these disputes is the contention that Miller's farm did not complete necessary processes for registration, licensing, or permitting food under safety laws. A pivotal moment in Miller's story just happened here recently, and it was a raid on his farm by state troopers and officials. This operation, which saw the seizure of multiple coolers of farm products, was a dramatic escalation in the ongoing battle. The raid was a response to allegations of non-compliance with food safety regulations. It highlighted the broader struggle between small-scale traditional farmers and regulatory authorities. They took things like sour cream because, that's a weapon of mass destruction, and things that were in his freezer that had nothing to do with what they were supposed to take. So this is really, I do put a script together for this so I don't forget things and kind of go to it. But I'm kind of going off a script here because it enrages me on this. He's doing something and people understand the risk and they're buying from him in a buying club because that's how you have to do it nowadays. You can't just go out and buy raw milk because the government knows what's best for you. No ifs, ands, or buts. And we'll get into that, I think, later on this. About the issues with that. I mean, there are some things you can get from raw milk. If it's handled properly in that, you shouldn't have to worry about it. But there are some things. But, well, we'll go back to script on this. Just know that this is not cool. Not cool at all. Okay, and this raid serves as a stark reminder for the homesteading community of the challenges faced in maintaining traditional practices with the modern regulatory framework. From Amos Miller's experience, we draw lessons about navigating legal landscapes, the power of community support, and the ongoing fight for food sovereignty. Miller's case underscores the importance of understanding and complying with current regulations while maintaining our traditional practices. Kind of. The support Miller received from the farming and homesteading communities highlights the importance of solidarity in facing challenges. His story is a rallying cry for the right produce, distribute, consume food that aligns with our values, emphasizing the need for advocacy and action. So let me go into, we'll kind of do some closing thoughts here. One of the things that happened was somebody did pass away from while drinking his milk. Let's put it that way. And they, after the person had passed away, they, checked the body and stuff and did that and found that it had listeria in it, listerious, something like that, which could have come from his milk, and it is possible. And the alphabet agency decided to tell everybody that that person died from that. That's what caused the disease, and that's what got a lot of this rolling. But what they failed to tell you was that this woman that unfortunately passed away had been being treated for a severe case of cancer. With chemotherapy, all of that, and she passed away, and so they blame it on the milk. I mean, could she got it from it? There is a possibility. Did it cause her to pass away? I don't think so, but There is a possibility because with that chemotherapy that was treating the cancer, it does lower your immunity to it. But she could have got, anything from that. That's just it infuriates me because they did not release all of the information. The alphabet agencies decide what you need to know, when you need to know it, and how much of it you actually need to know. So, what can we sum up from this? I mean, he's paid like, I don't know, $600,000-$700,000 in fines, and then they raided him again, and they took things out of his freezer that had nothing to do with it. I mean, really, sour cream, milk. I think there was some cheese in there, and then they took some meat too that was actually from before 2016, which, it's kind of weird he had that in there, but if it's stored properly, it'll be good. But they just took it, and they wouldn't let news agencies in there while they were doing it because, they were giving an arrest warrant that was given by probably corrupt judges. Who am I to say? I don't know the judge. I don't know what it was. I'm sure there's a payoff in there somewhere. And that's why this has its own podcast, so that I can say these things, ran a little bit, but, my opinion is the government needs to butt out of me. I want the smallest amount of government that touches my life in the least amount. Let local government decide what we need to do. And by local government, I mean us. Stay off my property. Let's barter for what we need. You know what? If my neighbor's got a beef cow, and I've got chickens, and he wants eggs and some chicken meat, I want some beef. Do I care that he butchered it himself? Do I care that I'm going to butcher it myself? No. Back off. I understand the risks, and I also understand if I cook it thoroughly, anything that got in there should be off of it. So, booger off, I guess. So, I hope you enjoyed this first one. Let me wrap this up before I wrap up the whole episode, but because as we conclude, I want to reflect on the importance of understanding the legal landscape, building strong communities, and advocating for our rights to live in harmony with the land. So be friends with your local USDA person if you can. I talked to mine that was at the workplace I worked, and she gave me some pointers. I'm not going to explain what those pointers are because I don't want anybody to get in any trouble. But just so you know, it wasn't what you would think. I was asking about quail, rabbits, that sort of stuff, and pretty much got a green light to sell it to family and friends, even without any inspection. So just know your area. Get a group, because I hate to put it this way, but, if everybody's, I'm air quoting, breaking the law together, no one's going to turn anybody in because they're doing the same thing. So get in a group, raise stuff together, learn to butcher together. I mean, let's build strong communities out there that doesn't need the government to step in and tell us what we can or can't do. Because guess what? If I ever get property, there's going to be a gate on the front of that driveway, because that means that not anybody can just drive up my driveway and already be on my property. That means anybody from the government would have to stop at that and contact me, probably by speaker or that, or by mail, to phone, whatever, but they're not going to see what's on my property because it's none of their business. It's the way it is right now. I've got fences up. It's none of their business what I'm doing on my property. They were going to come through for property evaluations and look at the property. Well, I don't think they can just walk onto my neighbor's property either, but I had all my stuff locked, so they can't get in the backyard. So to me, they don't. There's nothing back there they need to know about. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my rant. I hope to have many more to come. I have this episode, which I want to get out right away because this does pertain to something that's in the news right now. And the next episode will be the same way. But I can't guarantee the regularity of these because it's going to just tend when I see something in the news that ticks me off or that I think you should know about. Might even do a series. We'll see. It'll still be under this Ungovernable, but it'll probably be like Ungovernable semicolon series or something, because I have that plan too. But I do get a lot of plans. I get excited about them, and then life gets in the way sometimes. So hopefully you will join me on the next one. And until that next time, keep nurturing your roots of resistance and stay ungovernable, my friends.